Hi everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. I'm still playing with my technology, so I think I've kind of got things organized, and I hope I'm live in my Facebook group tonight. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I think it's set. And if you're joining me, please give me the thumbs up and let me know that you can hear me and that where you're coming in from. Hey, oh, Catherine, good, perfect. I'm live in my Facebook group. I can see that, so that's great. And then, like I said, hopefully I'm live also on YouTube and in my Facebook page. So tonight I wanted to share with you a technique. I shared this today. I just realized it's Tuesday and I'm going to do a technique. Okay, we're going to do a technique tonight and a sketch tomorrow night because clearly I have my days mixed up. I'm not sure where my day went to. So tonight it'll be a technique because that's what I've prepared for. Hey, Roberta. And tomorrow night I'll jump on it and do a sketch with you. Now it'll be a little bit early tomorrow night because I have a meeting to go to. Yeah, oops, Catherine. I'm really mixed up with the days. I don't know where the weeks go. So let me share a technique with you. Now today, if you followed my blog, I shared a card using partial die cutting, and so I thought I'd do another one because sometimes people get really confused with partial die cutting, and it's not as difficult as what you might think it is. So that was what I prepared for tonight. I guess I was thinking about my blog post that went live today. So let me switch over and we'll get started. Okay, so I'm going to use this amazing reindeer. I'm going to see if I can get a little bit more light. There we go. Reindeer Fun bundle. This is part of the Reindeer Days product suite in the catalog. It's the one we're using for the upcoming stamp camp. And I actually have one extra kit cut. Say that twice, 3 times fast. One extra kit cut for the stamp camp. So if you're interested in that kit, you purchase the suite from me or the equivalent amount, put an order in from me, and you'll get that kit for free. Plus, hey Connie, yay, you made it live. Plus you will get the 13 bonus projects. So you get a make and take kit with 13 bonus projects. I love this suite, and I have to say, this isn't a suite that I thought would be me, but it is so fun to play with. Okay, so I'm going to make an easel fold card using partial die cutting. So a little bit different again. If you looked at my blog post today, I did a little bit different for the partial die cutting. But this time it's going to be an easel fold card. So I've got a piece of Granny Apple Green that I cut 4 1/4 by 11. Oops, I need to do that. And I've scored it at 5 1/2, and I'm going to score it at 2 3/4. So this is, like I said, going to be an easel fold card. So I'll show you how it folds, and then we can get started on the die cutting. Okay, so it's folded in half like a normal card base tent fold. And then this one piece, the front of this, is scored again in half. So we're going to take that and fold on that. So it's going to sit up like this. But I'm going to do some die cutting, so part of this top part of the card is going to come forward, and so it's going to be a little taller than if it was just like that. So there's going to be some extra bit at the top. So I'm going to open this up. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is, this is the largest of the Spotlight on Nature dies. So I'm going to position this over so halfway. I want it kind of halfway, aligned side to side, and then the score line in the middle. So I'm just going to use a post-it note tape. You can use a post-it note or washi tape or whatever will hold that in place. And then I'm going to grab my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Oops, let's go there. Okay, so that's a little bit farther away. So we've got all the plates we need. So when you do partial die cutting, you want to, anything that is under this top plate is going to get cut. And so for this one, I want this top part to be cut, but not this part that is all kind of taped down. So we're going to position this. Actually, I'm going to run this through just a sec. Let me get it up to the other side, and I'll tell you why. Okay. So the part that's going to get cut is the top part of this. Whatever gets positioned underneath this cutting plate will get cut, because of course that's where the pressure is. And the reason I kind of pushed it through to the side is I find that if I run the overlapping edge, which is this edge, it's sticking out longer than the main platform number 1. If I run that through first, it won't push my plate out of position. If I tried to run this through the other way, it seems to shift my cutting plate, and then I don't get the die cutting where I want it to be. So that's just a little trick when you're doing partial die cutting. Okay, so let's bring this. I'm gonna just put this machine behind me because I'm gonna use it again. So now we've got half of a circle cut, and so when this easel fold is positioned, it's going to have this, so it is going to be a little bit bigger and have this circle. So you can see that only half of this circle got cut, and now I can bring that forward and have it kind of stand up as part of the easel. Okay, let's kind of go back to that. Okay, now this is the reindeer fun, and there is this really lovely die in the reindeer fun. I'm gonna just poke some of these bits that are still in there so it cuts a little bit better. Okay, I think there's one more. Okay, so this doesn't cut a circle, like a full circle. It only cuts part of a circle. I've still got some white bits in there. And so I'm going to take and position this on my circle that I've just cut, making sure that it doesn't kind of overlap the edge. And I'm going to take that piece of Post-it note tape. And again, the part of this that I want to cut, no, actually I lied. I'm going to cut this whole thing and hope this works. I think what I did when I tried it before, I needed to cut the whole thing. So we're going to hope this works. Okay, so we're going to just make sure that it doesn't overlap the edge. I'm going to put my Post-it note tape on there and bring my machine back. So this won't be partial die cutting. This is just going to cut. Fingers crossed. And I'm going to run that through a couple of times just because it's quite detailed. Hey Pam, welcome. Okay, so I think I'm done with my die cutting, and fingers crossed this worked. Okay, so I'm going to take this, gently pull this off. Yes, okay, there we go. Yeah. Post-it note tape, gentle, so it doesn't tear. There we go. So isn't that cool? Look what I've got going on here. So it's quite delicate as it's cut this circle out. And so you actually are going to see part of the inside of the card and part of the front of the cards. So I'm just going to take, by running it through a couple of times, most of the bits of this bow frame get cut out, or fall out. Okay, so when this stands up, it's going to look like that. So you can see that bow frame. So now it's time to do some decorating. Okay, so I have already gone ahead and done some cutting. So I've got a piece of basic white for the inside of the card. And I've got a piece of granny apple green and some basic white for the sentiment. And I went ahead and cut out some of these cute dies that go along with this reindeer days reindeer fun bundle. So we're going to have a deer. We've got some lights that I'll put on somewhere. You can cut out this wreath, and of course we'll have a little bow on the reindeer. So I'm just going to take, so the way this deer goes together, and you can either make the deer without the antlers or with the antlers. And so I did the main part of the deer with the antlers in pecan pie, and then I've got a white face and muzzle that just gets glued on. So I've never popped this up. I guess you could pop it up, but I just use liquid glue or a little bit of Stampin' Seal. Or if you really wanted to make sure it was down permanently, you could use the adhesive sheets. So we've kind of got an early espresso deer. So we're going to put him on, and then we're also, so we can, there is one of the pieces of designer series paper has this cool wreath around the deer, and so you can put that around. And I usually just hold that in place with, if I can find, yep, there we are, with some dimensionals. So not only does this pop this up, it will hold that wreath in place. Now what you're going to want to make sure is when you use these dimensionals and position this deer, it doesn't show. So I'm going to take, and before I put that down, I've got a piece of this with the Christmas trees. This is one of the pieces of designer series paper, and I cut it too wide. So I'm going to trim this to be 1 inch by 4 inches. Just trim it here. And we'll just put this down here at the bottom just for a little bit of detail. Like that. Now, like I said, I want to make sure my deer doesn't, my dimensionals for my deer don't stick up and show. So I'm going to put my deer kind of down like that. And that way, when you open up the card, you're not going to see dimensionals behind this. Okay, so we've got that like that. This piece of basic white is going to go on the inside of the card, and I have another piece of this designer series paper that is 3/4 of an inch by 4 that we'll just put. I'm not going to put this right at the bottom because this is going to go like this. So I think I'm going to put this at the top, which I don't normally do, but you'll see it from when the cards open. And this bottom piece is going to be where my sentiment goes and my stopper for my card. So let's open that up. That on the inside of my card. So this closes flat to mail, which is really cool. And then I'm going to just take and put a little dot of glue. You can put either this on the wreath, or I'm going to put this kind of like a bow tie. Like that. Hold that on. Okay, and then I cut these lights out. Now, I don't know, maybe I am going to just add some color. So you can, this string of lights, you can just take and cut out using the dies. And so I'm just going to take and put just a little bit of glue on each end here. And we'll just take and glue that across like that. It just gives it a little extra color. Ooh, I love this card. Ah. Okay, now we need a sentiment. So I am going to use the one that says Merry Christmas. And since I've got some real red going on my card, I'm going to stamp the Merry Christmas in real red. So I've got a piece of basic white that's 1/2 inch by, well, it's just 1/2 inch. It's one of my scraps from when I cut the inside of my card layer. And so I'm just going to take and stamp my Merry Christmas in real red. And then I've got a piece, so this is 1/2 inch by, I need it to be 1/2 inch by about 3 inches. So we'll just take and kind of trim off the excess. Okay, and then my piece of Granny Apple Green, which I'm going to pop this up on, I want to be, this is 3/4 of an inch, and I want it to be 3 1/4 inches. And then we'll use dimensionals on it as well, if we can find them. There's some. Oops. I always lose my dimensionals. I don't know why. So I'm going to pop this up. So I'm going to pop up my sentiment onto the Granny Apple Green, and then I'm going to pop up the Granny Apple Green onto the card base, just so that it kind of, because it's the stopper, will hold my easel up. I just want to make it sure it's got lots of height to it. And then you can decide where you want this to go. This almost stands up on its own, but if you want it to stand up a little bit straighter, which I kind of think will look good, and I didn't get that on there very straight. Let's see if I can. I didn't get that on there very straight. Let's see if I can. There we go. That's a little straighter. Okay, so this does hold up almost on its own. Like that. This is a little flimsy, so if you wanted to make this a little bit more solid, you could probably double up on the front of the card base. You would have to run it through probably 2 or 3 or 4 times to get it to cut through, but it might make your card a little bit less. This is quite delicate, this. But there we go. So that's that. Now I have these amazing peppermints. Now they still are not orderable, but they're due back in on October. Here I am in September. October 7th. So they are coming back in, which is very cool. So when you close that, you are going to see that sentiment, and maybe you don't want to do that. So if you don't want to see the sentiment, you might want to put it down at the bottom, but I think I'm okay with seeing the sentiment. Put that there. Like that. So you could move your sentiment to the bottom, but I kind of like the way that it pops up like that. So there we go. That is... Could add an extra, yes, you could, for sure. You could double that up. You could cut one of these, the largest of the Spotlight on Nature, and then cut your frame. That would be a good idea, Connie, to cut it like that, and then you could just layer that, and that would just make it be a little bit more sturdy. But that's okay, not bad for a first attempt. All right, so there we go. I love this. I think it's very cute. And another way to do partial die cutting, if you've never tried it before, yeah, give it a try, because it really is a fun way to add some detail to your card. Yeah, I did actually, Sandy, I had thick basic white cardstock out from my card base, and then I decided I liked the color of the Granny Apple Green, and so I switched it out. But you're right, thick basic white would be another good choice for the card base, just to give it that extra stability and being a little less flimsy. If that was just one piece of just your circle, you would probably find that it's much more stable. But because I've kind of taken a lot of that cardstock away by cutting the frame, it kind of takes away some of the strength of the card front. So lots of things I could do differently, but I'm really pleased with this card. I love the way it turned out. And I have a craft fair coming up, and I'm kind of thinking that some of these cards might sell at my craft fair. So we might have to make some more of these, and we'll do some. That circle cut. So yeah, I used the Carolina, I think you're a little just popped in now. I used this large Spotlight on Nature die, and then the frame, the bow frame from the Reindeer Fun bundle to create that. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed that. Apologies if you joined to thinking you were going to see a sketch challenge, which is what I always do on Tuesday nights, but I have completely got my days mixed up. So tomorrow night, I will be live probably about 4 o'clock because I have a meeting to go to, and I will do my sketch challenge for tomorrow night. So come back and join me. If you got my newsletter today, the sketch is in there, so you know the sketch that I'm going to use. But I will make a card using that sketch tomorrow night with it. Now, if you are interested, if you live in Canada and you are interested in the Reindeer Days, the Creativity Abounds Stamp Camp, I do have one kit left. And the way you register for that is to purchase the Reindeer the Reindeer Days, I get the name mixed up, the Reindeer Days product suite. So that's the bundle, the paper, the peppermint embellishments, the twine, and the embossing folder, the Forever Plaid embossing folder. So if you purchase all of those things through my online store, you will get the Make and Take kit with 13 projects in it for free, plus the 13 bonus projects that we share going live. So if you are interested in that, let me know. A couple of things aren't available, but we can get them to you for maybe not quite the stamp camp, but after, because you can always make the Make and Takes on your own. Yeah, good plan to watch the replay. What else was I going to tell you? If you haven't seen, there is a kit collection sale going on that started today. There is an amazing starter kit promotion. So if you are not a demonstrator or you have somebody that you think would love to be a demonstrator, there's an amazing starter kit promotion started today. And again, one more thing about the Stamp Camp. If you are interested in the Stamp Camp and you don't live in Canada, reach out to me and I will put you in touch with a demonstrator in your market, because we have demonstrators in all of the markets. All right, there we go. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you liked that project, and come back tomorrow about 4 o'clock, a little early, and I will do the sketch that I should have done tonight. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me. Hope you have a great evening. Happy stamping.